cocoa products, and we thought that we should solidarize and establish the fact that we are not going to sit by and watch these atrocities go on and not be able to bring our humanity, to bear. So yes, the way we have gone about it, and even if you look at our votes, we currently serve on the UN Human Rights Council. We have consistently, you heard the Israeli ambassador recently say that we've been voting against them and we should change course. Of course, what he did was meddling in our internal decision-making processes, and I had to invite him and certainly express our disquiet about what he said. And I mean, he's since, desisted from that kind of conduct. But you see our voting pattern, and it's clear that we are aligned with the UN, we are aligned with the larger part of the international community. If you look at the recent vote on the Palestinian question, 142 countries voted for the resolution against what is going on in Palestine. And Ghana was there. We're on the right side of history. We didn't join those 10 countries who voted against and the 12 who abstained. We should tell you that even though we are conscious to be good friends of all, but it is...
On certain matters, you take principled positions.
We take principled positions on those matters, and we don't allow the friendship and the good relations to mar, because it's about international law, it's about the respect for the UN Charter, it's about sovereignty,
and
so
I think
it's about
that point is
UN
clear.
resolutions.
So our voting pattern for Israel, but in relation, on the Israel matter, in relation to the UN General Assembly next week, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, will the president make a statement on what's happening in Gaza?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you follow the president's speeches at the United Nations, he's been very consistent. He will remind the world that we must recommit to the two-state solution. He disagrees with Netanyahu, who says that there can be only one state and that they have to clear the Gaza Strip. That is not a position consistent with the UN Charter. So the president will make clear that Ghana remains committed to the two-state solution. Of course, you will expect him to also speak on the Cuban blockade. He has been very, very consistent on that. There's been no UN speech, if you go through all his UN speeches, where he doesn't condemn the sanctions, the US sanctions on Cuba. Even though we have great relations with the Americans recently, you know that we have an understanding with them to accept West African nationals who have been pouring into our country. At the same time, we are maintaining great ties with Cuba. We're receiving a lot of Cuban medical doctors, the Cuban Medical Brigade. So we are a country that ought to be studied. How we are able to navigate
since you brought the, I take that.
And really
since you brought the US
great relations.
Prisoner issue, I listened to the president when he met us on the 10th, a week ago today, and he did admit that our relationship with the US, even though it was okay, was not necessarily at the best of places because of Mr. Trump's policies, his tariffs. So it's a bit baffling for us to, in a sense, do the US this favor of receiving 14 deportees who are not even Ghanaians into our country. I mean, Mr. Trump hosted 5 African presidents in the second term. Mr. Mahama wasn't one of them. So I'm not sure Ghana and US are as cozy as they probably were when Mr. Obama was president and Mahama was here. So why did we agree to this?
So let's be clear. We didn't agree to this because we agree with President Trump's immigration policies. We are not doing the US a favor. We are doing our fellow Africans a favor. We are offering them refuge. We are offering them succor. We are offering them hope. We want them to come back home and be comfortable. We solidarize with them when we see those images, the arrests, the violation of their rights, being detained against their will, and it's as though nobody wants to take them. So it was purely on humanitarian basis, and we have made clear that we did not accept any financial benefit whatsoever. We are doing this because we want to continue to position Ghana as that country which has always been the Mecca for Africans, for freedom fighters. We will avail ourselves to help fellow Africans in distress.
So pardon my ignorance.
So it is not about
Fair
a
enough,
favor
pardon my ignorance. If you have 14,
for President
14
Trump.
Africans, 1 Nigerian, 13 Nigerians, 1 Gambian, why wouldn't their governments take them? Why do we have to take them?
Yes, so you do know that the Americans have been approaching governments they consider friendly. That's what, at least when they engage me, and I've been to the State Department on numerous occasions for these talks, and they have indicated that they are approaching countries they consider friendly countries,
despite the
allies.
The tariffs.
You know, the tariffs.
The
were,
10%.
The tariffs were general, really.
Okay.
He slapped it on all countries, so they have said that don't use that to judge our relations.
Fair enough.
Everybody, you know, received
the MCC too.
Received
we are not
President
getting.
Trump's. Yes, and really for the MCC, it was our own doing.
AGOA is also off.
The PDS and all of that. Yes,
but we are still a friendly country.
We are clearly a friendly country because they approached us.
Okay.
And I think that if you look at the region, in terms of what we are doing with the Americans, the strategic cooperation we have, even with intelligence sharing, with security, we have a lot going on in health. Even despite the withdrawal of the U.S. AID support, there's still a lot of cooperation in the health sector. You take the energy sector, communication sector. So there's a wide spectrum of cooperation that the two countries enjoy. And it is within that spirit. Remember that we are the 5th African country after Rwanda, Uganda, Eswatini, and another country. We are the 5th country and the only country country in West Africa. The only country so far approached in West Africa by the Americans. And we thought that, look, West Africans already under the ECOWAS protocol can visit any country visa-free, stay for 90 days. So on principle, on humanitarian grounds, Pan-African solidarity, let us accept our fellow West Africans. And let's make the point that Ghana is your home. We are not going to allow you to
accept
be
them
distressed.
to keep them here or accept them to send them back to their countries.
So the choice is theirs, really. For 90 days, if they want to stay here, they can stay. But so far, all of them have indicated that they want to go back after some time. And we've been facilitating that. I can reveal to you that we are expecting another 40.
Another 40?
Another 40 in the next few days.
Of which nationalities?
West Africans. The understanding we have is that it will be West Africans. And don't forget that...
Do you vet them before they come?
Yes, we vet them.
What caveats do you give the Americans?
So we have said that...
Who is not acceptable?
Hardened criminals, convicted criminals. When the background check reveals that you've associated with terrorism, with violent extremism, you are a very violent person. You are on a certain Interpol wanted list for violent crimes, because we have the data. You will not be allowed in our country. So it's really people who probably
why didn't you ratify the MOU with Parliament?
Yes, so it's an MOU at this stage, just an understanding, and MOUs are not ratified. But
really?
as the discussion